Jonathan Lee Riches Investigates. I am covering the Moscow, Idaho Bryan Kohberger case. Just went into Best Buy to buy myself a phone charger, and I saw this Geek Squad truck, and it reminded me about the Bryan Kohberger case and FBI CAST. CAST. It is a group of people that know the ins and outs of cell phones, and CAST is going to share a lot about where Bryan Kohberger was November 13th, 2022, the 8458 Kohberger phone, assuming Kohberger was with his phone. But the defense just filed a motion to compel to get more discovery, and they want this FBI CAST stuff. What is CAST? Well, I've been talking to a few people behind the scenes with this case, some private investigators and some technology gurus, and I just compiled a list of notes about CAST. And I want to share with you what CAST is, because it's very important, because CAST might be the nail in Bryan Kohberger's coffin when it comes to technology evidence against Kohberger. CAST. On December 23rd, 2022, pursuant to that search warrant, I received records for the 8458 phone from AT&T. These records indicated that the 8458 phone is subscribed to Bryan Kohberger at an address in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, and the account has been open since June 23rd, 2022. These records also included historical cell site location information, CSLI, for the 8458 phone. After receiving this information, I consulted with an FBI special agent that is certified as a member of the Cellular Analysis Survey Team, aka CAST. Members of CAST are certified within the FBI to provide expert testimony in the field of historical CSLI and are required to pass extensive training that includes both written and practical examinations prior to be certified with CAST, as well as the completion of yearly certification requirements. Additionally, the FBI CAST SA that I consulted with has over 15 years of federal law enforcement experience, which includes 6 years with the FBI. From information provided by CAST, I was able to determine estimated locations for the 8458 phone from November 12, 2022 to November 13, 2022, the time period authorized by the court. So let me share this info with y'all. Officer Payne stated that he consulted with a special agent from FBI CAST, which is something I never heard of. I looked into this extensively and spoke to people who are experts on this technology. And I want to share with you all my notes, because this is amazing technology, people. It is. It really is. FBI CAST uses data measurement to pinpoint your location with high accuracy down to feet, people. Down to feet. It analyzes the data stream between your device and cell phone towers, showing your movements, and it can even tell if you're approaching from the left or right direction. FBI CAST stands for Cellular Analysis Survey Team. It's a team of people, experts, like the Geek Squad. It's a team in the FBI that specializes in analyzing cell data and providing location information in criminal investigations. They use various techniques to enhance the accuracy of historical cell tower data in order to improve the precision of a target cell phone's location with a particular cell sector. The team uses timing information and power measurements from cell towers to augment their analysis. So what does all that mean, right? What does all that mean? It means that these were not just nearby cell phone tower pings, people. It's not just, hey, Bryan Kohberger was in Moscow. The FBI used advanced technology to pinpoint Bryan Kohberger's precision within feet, people, and place him exactly at 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho, on at least a dozen occasions prior to November 13th. All but one of those times being late at night or early morning hours. And as we know, they placed him at the house again at 9:12 later that morning, November 13th. Now check this out. Further review indicated that the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources on November 13th, 2022 that are consistent with the 8458 phone leaving the area of the Kohberger resident at approximately 9 a.m. and traveled to Moscow, Idaho. Specifically, the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that would provide coverage to the King Road residents between 9:12 a.m. and 9:21 a.m. The 8458 phone next utilized cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 phone traveling back to the area of the Kohberger residence and arriving to the area at approximately 9:32 a.m. PCA, probable cause affidavit, also mentions pen registers and tap and trace. What is that? What is a pen register? Kind of know about this about my days as I was like a phone freaker in the 90s. Used to hang out on DEF CON and 2600 bulletin boards. Kind of know a little bit about this, but I'll explain the exact terminology, which I have written down here. Pen registers and trap and trace devices are surveillance tools used to gather information about phone calls. They record and identify the phone numbers dialed for outgoing and incoming calls. Their purpose is not to reveal the actual content of the communications or identify the individuals involved in the call. Instead, they focus on capturing the basic information of who dialed who, like a call detail, a list, incoming, outgoing calls. This type of data can paint a comprehensive picture of a person's associations, habits, contacts, interests, and activities. So you can imagine this technology would be highly valuable to law enforcement. Absolutely. And they don't even need to have the actual device to do all this. They don't need this phone. They can do it on their own. They have to know his number, the 8458 number, but they don't need the actual phone in his possession. There have been some privacy concerns raised about this technology and ongoing debate about surveillance standards, and often revolve around the collection of this data through these devices and other methods. What does all this mean for the Kohberger case? Well, it means the FBI was able to not only show what towers his phone pinged from, but they actually nailed his precise location on each occasion down to just feet. So 12 times at least, they know with certainty that he was at the house on King Road. On December 23rd, 2022, pursuant to the search warrant, I received historical records for the 8458 phone from AT&T from the time the account was opened in June 2022. After consulting with CAST SA, I was able to determine estimated locations for the 8458 phone from June 2022 to present, the time period authorized by the court. The records for the 8458 phone showed the 8458 phone utilizing cellular resources that provided coverage to the area of 1122 King Road on at least 12 occasions prior to November 13th, 2022. All of these occasions, except for one, occurred in the late evening and early morning hours of their respected days. What's really interesting, though, looking into this case, is the one of those occasions, August 21st, 2022. He was at the King Road home from 10:34 p.m. to 11:35 p.m. and immediately after leaving, he was pulled over at 11:37 p.m. by Moscow PD. And we don't even have the body cam to that yet. Again, they pinpointed his precise location to match the exact intersection where he was pulled over. One of these occasions, on August 21st, 2022, the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources, providing coverage to the King Road residents from approximately 10:34 p.m. to 11:35 p.m. At approximately 11:37 p.m., Kohberger was stopped by Latah County Sheriff's Deputy Corporal Duke. As mentioned above, the 8458 phone was utilizing cellular resources consistent with the location of a traffic stop during this time, Farm Road and Pullman Highway. One thing I'll pull out in the section in the PCA that states the 8458 phone pinged off a cell phone tower serving Moscow on November 14th. Remember, it said that in the PCA, November 14th. But investigators say they don't believe the phone was actually in Moscow. Now you can see how they would know that compared to the previous 13 trips he made to the house. Investigators found that the 8458 phone did connect to a cellular tower that provides service to Moscow on November 14, 2022. But investigators do not believe the 8458 phone was in Moscow on that date. The 8458 phone has not connected to any towers that provided service to Moscow since that date. You understand what I'm saying? Geek Squad type of stuff here, people. Geek Squad type of stuff. FBI. So all this data combined created a complete digital footprint of Kohberger, and investigators were able to use that fingerprint to not only pinpoint his whereabouts, but also learn his patterns, hobbies, and they didn't even need his actual phone to pull this all together. Yes, FBI cast, people. That's going to be some serious stuff that's going to be mentioned, and his lawyers are trying to get that information. I wonder why, because they know he's pretty much cooked. He's cooked off that, and it's going to show that he was there within feet at that Moscow, Idaho home. Let me know what you think about CAST. Do you know anything about CAST? Has CAST, has it been used to convict people in the past? We will know very, very soon when it comes to this case. But out in the field, I just was in Best Buy, Geek Squad, love the Geek Squad, and we're going to love the FBI cast. So lucky for us and lucky for investigators, they had the FBI working with them. Unlucky for Bryan Kohberger, because the cast people are like an elite cyber force, and these elite teams of people can break it down to a science, people. A science when it comes to Kohberger. And we will see in court, maybe when Kohberger's defense gets this discovery. I don't know if the prosecution can release that. It might be under Idaho Code 16 where it's not, they don't have to release it. But if they do, that might be like Kohberger's defense, but like, uh-oh, we're cooked. We are done with this technology. That's placing you right at the scene, unless they claim somebody stole Bryan Kohberger's phone. I mean, who knows, right? Subscribe to my channel, like, hit the notification button, covering the Bryan Kohberger case. Let me know what you think, subscribe, and we will talk soon. I'll be watching your comments in this video. Everyone be safe, justice for the victims and their families. God bless.